whenever I see a black woman who don't like Beyonce, I just look at her weird. Like, what's wrong with you? Who hurt you, boo? What's going on with that self-hate? YouTube, what's up, baby? It's your favorite awkward black boy, your favorite anti-social extrovert, Blake Mother Loving Dupree, back at it again at the Diary of Dupree. Welcome back to my channel, to my growing community. I'm so happy that this channel is finally getting some traction because I've been putting in work. I've been giving the girls consistency. Welcome to the Diary of Dupree. I'm an artist, actor, content creator, and I'm a YouTuber. So welcome to my channel. I do a lot of black topics. I do a lot of LGBTQ topics, and of course, you would be remiss if you did not talk about Beyonce. Especially the Beyonce Bowl, fulfilling another half of Beyonce's contract with Netflix as well as the NFL. And I am also a public relations major at Chicago State. I just graduated 2 years ago. So I'm going to talk about the Beyonce Bowl from a PR perspective. And honestly, not even just the Beyonce Bowl, but Beyonce's relationship with the NFL and how it has enhanced not only their viewership, but her career as well as it enhances every artist's career who, intertwines with the NFL. But I'm also going to bring up a tired ass narrative that I'm tired of hearing about it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I need the girls, the gays, the white gays, the black gays, even though it's really not us who was bringing this shit up, to put this shit on the shelf and let it collect us. No shade at all. And this narrative that I'm bringing up is the comparison between Michael Jackson, Beyonce, and Taylor Swift. I know the last part threw me completely off. Honestly, the first two parts I understand, but they really don't make sense at all either to me. But we'll get into all of that. But first, make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. I'm on TikTok, really popping before they delete that shit. And I'm also a musical artist. Now, music is my first love. Acting is my first love. Performing arts is my first love. I have a single called Wait featuring my homeboy Niche out on all streaming platforms now. And I also have a showcase this weekend. So if you're in Chicago, come see me on the 4th, baby, at the Urban Looks Cafe off 79th Street. I'm working with the Lash Out fam. We'll be doing a 15-minute showcase for me, but as well as a bunch of other dope artists from the Chicago area, just, spilling out positive vibes. And I want to give a shout out to the Urban Lust Cafe in Chicago because they've been doing some great things for the South Side's artist community, having weekly open mics, jam sessions, poem sessions, and I've been really enjoying their positive energy, because the South Side of Chicago don't got a lot of events like that, especially a lot of consistent events like that, especially a lot of black owned consistent open mics, spoken words, vegan friendly food, just positive vibes from the get-go. And I love that. Check them out. Check me out this weekend. Also, I have a couple of big announcements coming up in my next couple of videos, so make sure you tap in with me. There'll be a lot of Blake Dupree live this year already. So let's get into the video, baby. Now, from a public relations perspective, Beyonce performing at any NFL event is PR perfection. There's really no wrong. Both people are taking a great audience, a huge fan base, and combining those platforms. Obviously, on my end, when I'm watching Beyonce at a football game, I just happen to see that it's a football game right before a Beyonce concert, if you know what I'm saying. Like when I'm watching the Super Bowl, I watch it for the halftime performance. There is a large demographic of folks who are just like me. The girls and the gays, we're really watching the Super Bowl or any NFL game for that matter for whoever is performing. And 9 times out of 10, when Beyonce is performing, all of the girls and the gays are tapped in. Whether you hate her or you love her, you're gonna watch that performance. You're just going to. And Beyonce has performed involving Destiny's Child 7 times with the NFL. Independently, she has performed 5 times as just Beyonce, the essence herself. Every time an artist performs with the NFL, it is because they are getting ready to release something. They are getting ready to promote something. There is a drop on the way. Beyonce's commercial last year, she gave us that. Then she gave us Cowboy Carter right after. This year, she has an announcement coming out on the 14th of January and announced that right after her Beyonce Bowl performance was complete. Now, getting into the performance herself, but before I get into that, let me rewind it. Her first performance with the NFL as just Beyonce was in 2002, and it was right before the Dangerously in Love era was really kicked into overdrive. It was with Carlos Santana. She did her thing. it wasn't the most notable performance, but then again, the Super Bowl halftime show wasn't as notable as it is now. I mean, we had Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, but honestly, after Prince had his halftime show and Madonna had hers, it really kicked it into overdrive as far as halftime notoriety. So she had her first one in 2002 or 2003, one of those years, and she did her thing. We fast forward a couple years later, we have the Destiny's Child performance with the Thanksgiving halftime show. And a great thing I love about that is I was watching the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders documentary, and one of the cheerleaders asked the owner, the 40 plus year owner of the Dallas Cowboys, who was your favorite Thanksgiving halftime show performer? And out of all of the rock acts, and out of all of the white artists, and out of all of the country artists who have graced that stage, and that year Dolly Parton had graced the stage, this old white Republican man, yes, I did my research. He is old, he is white, he is rich, he is on this side of the right. He is not left at all. Him and Beyonce are in two different pools when it comes to who's voting who in the polls, who's red and who's blue. Two different opposite spectrums of life experience, two different opposite viewpoints on politics. Just a black woman and an old white man rarely have a lot in common. But this old white man said within 3 seconds, he said, Destiny's Child. 3 black girls, 2 of them from the South, 1 of them from Southern Illinois, was his favorite halftime show performance. And that is an iconic, second to the Super Bowl, that is the most notable NFL performance for an artist. Honestly, just in general. The Thanksgiving halftime show is the most viewed performance after the Super Bowl. And for him to say Beyonce without a pitter, without a patter, within 30 seconds, shows that woman is a supreme performer of our generation. It is one of the greatest performances of our lifetime. For a black woman to make an old white rich man say, hey girl, you ate all these years of white folks up. Bad bitch B. Period. That's why I don't understand when people don't see this woman and see work ethic, talent, hustle, respect, John Cena. You can't see her. Period. Her time has always been there. But she did that. And Destiny's Child was getting ready to really get into the grind when it came to promoting the Destiny Fulfilled tour, as well as the Destiny Fulfilled album, which will become their last era for the foreseeable future. I don't know if we're going to get one or not. But then after that, we really saw the NFL chill off of R&B acts for a minute. But she did make a return, bitch. She made that return guns a fucking blazing with the first official Beyonce Super Bowl halftime show, which was in 2013, sponsored by Pepsi. And we all know that led to the Mrs. Carter World Tour, and that led to the Beyonce self-titled, and we all know that was one of the dopest drops ever. And then we don't really see her again from the NFL until 26 motherfucking teen, and we all know that was for the Lemonade era. She made a special appearance. She was a special guest.
The performer should get paid more, and I just feel like we all
the performer should. I'm a special guest to y'all performances. Again, I'm a special fucking guest.
And she ate them up. Like, I don't even remember Green Day's performance. I barely remember Bruno's. I just know Bruno can keep up with Beyonce, and I'm gonna put some respect on his name for that. But we all know every time an artist gears up to partnership with the NFL for any reason, it's because they're about to either go on tour, they're about to have a residency, they're about to drop an album, they're about to do something for their careers. And to have that opportunity to perform on such a large platform is a great marketing tool. It's a great PR tool. It's a great promotion. You got millions of people tapped in. If you can't profit off of that, you really don't need to be in the industry. And Beyonce has proved time and time again with the NFL alone that she is meant for this industry. So now we're at Beyonce Bowl, the first ever streamed Netflix football game / Beyonce concert live. And the girls were very, very nervous, self-included, because we saw the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight, and that shit was more buffering than anything. I mean, the buffer was beating both their ass. Fuck whoever won the fight, we don't know, because the buffer had the W from the get-go. So we were really nervous to see Beyonce do a deal with Netflix. As we all know, she has, I believe, 3 film deal with Netflix, and this is technically her second fulfillment. So I'm interested to see what is the third going to be. And the girls really was scared, and even she tapped into it, because she did a meme of, promoting the concert, and in the middle of the meme, it was buffering. So she knew the stakes were high. She knew we were tapped in, and she knew we were scared. But baby, knowing all of that, Beyonce did her biggest one. And honestly, I want to say since Coachella, that was the most noteworthy live stream performance from Beyonce in a very long time. And she's had a few since Coachella. But this one This definitely ate. It definitely ate. As we all know, country music is a genre that black folks started. American Requiem, we all know what that means, or at least we should know. I'm going to start a TikTok right here to give us some information on it.
A lot of you are going to be very mad at the words that I'm about to say, and that's okay. You can be mad at me, but I need you to try and listen from a different perspective. I've seen so many people saying that Beyonce is America's best propaganda machine right now, and I get it. Right? Have your criticism, but I believe all art is open to interpretation and criticism. But I think a lot of y'all are being intellectually lazy. Not only that, and I was talking about this yesterday, I believe that media literacy, illiteracy, and reading comprehension and comprehension in general is just very low, because people are saying that Beyonce is promoting a pro-American agenda when Cowboy Carter is very blatantly, if you use your brain, very blatantly a criticism of what America is and what it stands for and how it was built. It opens with American Requiem. A requiem is a mass for the dead. It is saying that there are people who there's a whole lot of red in the white and blue. She's literally saying that there are people who died, the backs, oh my God, America is built on the backs of black people, specifically is who she's speaking to and about, because she's talking even about the reclamation of a genre that was founded by black people, that is locked out by black people, which is why the second track is Blackbird, which is a cover of a song that was written about the 3 girls who were killed in the Birmingham bombing during the Civil Rights Movement. She also, on that song, got four country artists, black women who are in country music, who are often overlooked. She got them on a track because she knew that would give them more exposure, which it did. Shouts out to all of the girls on there. They did a beautiful job. Blackbird is about black girls who literally were murdered during the Civil Rights Movement. I don't know, and it was written by Paul McCartney, don't get me wrong, but if you use your brain, she's criticizing America. She's not saying woo, USA. She's saying, yeah, USA. There's a whole lot of red in that white and blue. Even the choice, because I've seen people bringing up the choice to bring out Post Malone and Miley Cyrus. Let us remember, Miley Cyrus and Post Malone are 2 people who benefited from hip hop and black culture, yet they get respected in the country space. Unlike certain people. Are y'all following what the lady is trying to do? And by all means, I believe that Post Malone and Miley Cyrus are very respectable artists, but the whole point is they get to be in multiple genres and respected in different spaces. Yet there's a limit for oh my God, are y'all hearing me? Willie Nelson, who is also a part of this album, is someone who has advocated for black people, queer people his entire career, albeit not always in a way that I think he should have, but he has advocated for these people in the space since Jump. And he's an OG in the country space. They were also outraged by him saying Black Lives Matter during the Black Lives Matter movement. Literally, I'm telling you, the lady is criticizing the whole goddamn thing. Linda Martell, she is an OG. She's a pioneer in not even just black, but she's a pioneer in country music. Yet she has been overlooked for so many years because of her race. Beyonce is criticizing. And I know you can have your criticism for Beyonce, you can have criticism for the art, but to blatantly misrepresent, it's fucked up. And it's honestly intellectually lazy. And no shade, as a black American who is the great-great-great-great-grandchild of a formerly enslaved person, it's okay for us to say, yeah, we built this bitch. And when you look at America, you can see us. See us. Stop exploiting us, taking our shit. See us. This is us. And I get it. I'm not, look, I don't fuck with America. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's but it's a complex relationship for a reason. And I know that I'm gonna get blowback for this. It's fine. But to deny what Beyonce means to black Southerners and how she represents what it's like to be a black person existing in this, I think it's intellectually lazy. It's more complex than y'all are giving it credit for. And at the very least, don't just write it off as pro-American propaganda when it's literally criticizing the way that America came to be. Hello?
Hope you guys enjoyed that. But everything that she does it with the passion. Everything that Beyonce brings to the table, it is for the sake of oppressed community, I should say. So Renaissance really catered to the black gay experience, and I love that. Cowboy Carter caters to a genre of music and a genre of people who started something and had it stolen from them, and she's taking it back. And she took it back with this performance. To see all of those beautiful black folks draped in white and Levi's jeans and just performing and giving all that they have to give on a platform that has honestly historically not been the kindest to its black athletes or its black performers, and we can get into that on another video. It felt a moment of pride. I felt proud watching that on Christmas Day with my family, and I'm glad to have captured that with my family on Christmas Day. It's definitely one of those performances where you don't forget where you were at. You're going to remember that for a long time when Beyonce did the Beyonce Bowl. I mean, she brought out Shabuzi, Post Malone, but she really didn't need to bring out nobody. But I ain't gonna lie, when I was watching Blue Ivy do her thing, Blue Ivy captivated me a little bit more than her mama for the first time. And I'm keeping real. Blue, you keep it up, girl. Even your mama run for her money. It reminds me of when Destiny's Child used to bring Solange, and Solange used to be a background dancer for Destiny's Child. And I love the fact that Beyonce will give her family, friends, a girl off the street an opportunity if she see that girl off the street, family and friend, has the hustle and has the drive. And Blue has definitely improved since her last Renaissance performance compared to today. I mean, Blue was eating. I'm sorry. She was very comfortable. She was consistent, and that was a long time to be on stage for somebody in my 20s, let alone a young girl in her preteens. I don't even think Blue was 13 years old yet. Shout out to Blue. I'm gonna check out Mufasa just for you, girl. But we see the performance, we see the perfection, we see the work ethic. We black folks, we know what's up. White folks, some of y'all know what's up too. The meaning behind Cowboy Carter, the meaning behind the all white, the meaning behind such a black like that performance on such a historically anti-black platform, reclaiming our spot in mainstream media. And I'm here for it. I loved it down. But what I hated was this TikTok that I made.
So somebody said, will we ever see another Beyonce and Michael Jackson? And somebody subtweeted it and said, no, because we gentle parents. And I'm sorry, I usually don't agree with the shit that's be on Twitter or Facebook, but I'm going to have to agree with this. Miss Tina, don't drag me. Listen carefully. Like, we all know the story behind Joe and Michael, right? That was crazy, right? Worked, but it was crazy. But in 2024, if we saw a group of young girls being homeschooled, running in heels, and singing at the same time at a random park in any part of the country right now, they would probably call DCFS on the people and say that it was a cult, right? Or I just remember the story where Beyonce got smarter at the mouth with her mama and her mama smacked her in front of everybody. You can't do that anymore. I'm not saying I disagree with how they raised her because it worked. I was raised very similarly to how Beyonce's parents raised her. But it's just a different time. So I don't think we will have another one.
Somehow, somebody made the narrative about Taylor Swift, and that is all of the comments in that video. And it brought up this sadness in my heart, that knowing that no matter how much you put into yourself, no matter how much you put into your craft, no matter how dope of a bitch you are as a black person, you're always going to be compared to white mediocrity, whatever the term is. You're always going to have a white counterpart who's going to be compared to you for no reason. And I really never understood the whole Taylor Swift and Beyonce comparison. I mean, I guess I could kind of see that they both put in hard work when it comes to visuals, live visuals, when it comes to touring, stadium touring, when it comes to fan bases, having cult-like fan bases. But outside of that, there is no comparison. And you know who I blame? I blame Kanye West. And you may think I'd be blaming Kanye West for the 2009 VMAs, but I blame him for being a dope-ass visual artist in himself. Because before Taylor Swift and Beyonce, it was truly Kanye West who was putting in the grit, the dirt, the detail in his visuals, from his fashions to his tours, to his staging, to his lights. He was really the first visual artist of the modern century to put that into his tours. I mean, after that, we saw Beyonce has always been a visionary. There's no shade in that. But Kanye West really made his touring an experience, minus the rambling in the ending of early shows. You could tell Kanye loved to be a visual artist. I remember I did the Donda show in 2021, and it was just a one-time, once-in-a-life experience. But we spent 2 weeks rehearsing for that 30-minute, I want to say I would say an hour and 30-minute set. And to see the detail he put into the costuming, to see the detail he put into that house, to see the detail he put into the choreography, that was a humbling experience. It was an inspirational experience, but it reminded me that Kanye was one of the first, before both Taylor and B, to have such, I want to say, performing arts as theatrical productions in their concerts, and not just giving 110% on stage with a mic and a light, or just letting your crowd do the job for you. He really inspired those girls, and we have to give Kanye his tens on that, because before Kanye, it was Michael, and Michael, unfortunately didn't get to do that in the modern century, in the 21st century, I should say, but he definitely did it in the 90s, in the 80s, and the 70s, because Michael is the supreme, period. Still is the supreme in my eyes. And then we do have Janet, but I just feel like Kanye took it to a whole nother level and inspired the girls who are the icons today to put into the dirt, the grit, the emotion, the bad bitchery that they put into their toys. So I can kind of see the comparison on that level. But when it comes to saying we will never have another Beyonce or Michael Jackson because of gentle parenting, true. I never thought of Taylor Swift when that was being brought up. And I never will. Because Taylor Swift is an icon. She is a star. She is a great songwriter. She is a great businesswoman. And I put a lot of respect to her name for voting for the left when a large portion of the majority of her fan base is white. And the majority of her fan base, most would assume, are Republicans. She put her career on the line for the sake of being on the right side of history. And I respect her for that. But I will never out of my black, beautiful lips say that Taylor Swift is on the level of Beyonce and Michael Jackson when it comes to performing. Never. And I'm sorry. And you know what? That woman makes a lot more money than me, so I'm not sorry. Her white privilege will save her and her children and her children's children for generations to come. So it ain't shit to be sorry about. But I don't understand, why must we compare our success as black people to our white counterparts when white counterparts do not do the same thing? You never hear of Taylor Swift being compared to Bon Jovi or who else? Who's on? Elton John. You never hear her being compared to Elton John. You never hear Taylor Swift being compared to Stevie Nicks. You never hear white artists being compared to their ancestors or to their predecessors who came before them. We as black folks, we're going to compare Beyonce to Michael Jackson. We're going to compare Beyonce and Rihanna. We're going to compare Beyonce and Rihanna. We're going to compare Lotto to Nicki, and so forth and so on. And I just really wish we would understand that comparison is often the thief of joy, and a lot of times we render our enjoyment of the music that these artists are putting out and compare them to their predecessors, when really they're not trying to be their predecessors, and if they are, it's usually a flop, so it really don't matter. But I'd rarely see us just enjoy the art, and I rarely see white people compare white artists to black artists. They're gonna compare Beyonce to Taylor whenever Beyonce is winning, like when she was the number one artist according to Billboard or Rolling Stone, I can't remember. But why is it that we even have to compare these two artists? She's country, Beyonce's Beyonce. I can't say that Beyonce's just R&B. Beyonce has done every single genre. Taylor has done too, and has done too extremely well, and can write her ass off and can pull an audience. But I never will understand that comparison, and I feel like it's so tired. It's such a lame narrative, and it really puts a damp on black artistry as a whole, and a damp on our work ethic whenever we try to compare our art to the art of our counterparts. When it's our art, let it be for us and enjoy it, because our counterparts let their art be for themselves and they enjoy it, and they're really comparing their art to our art. They'll copy it, like a carbon copy. They'll copy the rhythm, but they're not going to copy the blues. They're not going to have debates about Taylor Swift versus Beyonce if Taylor Swift is not going to benefit from that debate. We will have those debates, and I really don't know why that is. And a side note, whenever I see a black woman who don't like Beyonce, I just look at her weird. Like, what's wrong with you? Who hurt you, boo? What's going on with that self-hate? If you can't, like, I was watching the Beyonce Bowl with my auntie, and she said this verbatim. She said, I don't know any of these songs. I didn't even know she had an album out. But I will always respect her work ethic, and it is very inspirational to see a black woman. And mind you, my auntie is older than Beyonce. She is inspired by a woman younger than her. She said, that shit will always inspire me. I will always be inspired and have respect for Beyonce. Even if I don't know fucking Texas Hold'em, I'm going to have respect for her. And I respect that. And that's exactly how I feel. But I know Texas Hold'em. I know 16 Carriages. This ain't Texas. It's show length. Turn the radio off because it's not my favorite song by Beyonce. But I will always have respect for that woman's work ethic. And you should too. So stop comparing her to goddamn Taylor Swift. Two different lanes. And Taylor will never amount to the level of performance that Beyonce, Michael, and honestly half of the black industry can give, because white people, they don't have to. They don't have to go that hard. They can be mediocre when it comes to performing. They can be mediocre when it comes to honestly anything, and get half the brand deals, get more than half the brand deals, get more than half the support, get more than half the fan base, get more than half of the money than their black counterparts, because they have never had to go that hard. We got to jump through so many motherfucking hoops just to get half of the table. When I want to challenge us going into this new year, fuck the table. Build your own tables, build your own restaurants, build the door and walk in that motherfucker with pride. But that could be a whole nother video within itself. And I know y'all got things to do. Y'all got beans to cook. Y'all got Florida water and soap water to mix and mop those floors. So I don't want to take too much of your time. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you get where I'm coming from both the PR perspective and just a black artist myself. This shit is tired. Get a new read. Get a new narrative. Love on yourself. Make sure you look in the mirror and say, yeah, I am that, because you've been that. Whatever that is for you, baby girl, baby boy, baby they, them. It's your Aqua Black Boy Blake Dupree. Till next time. Peace.
The performers should get paid more, and I just feel like we all
No, the
showing
performance
up.
should. I'm a special guest to y'all performances. Again, I'm a special